Dumpling Days, Chapter 23. Traveling at night. Even though it was 2 days later, it seemed like almost as soon as we got back from Lugang. Oh man, I messed this one up. Lugang. We were saying goodbye to Clifford, Leanne, Big Uncle, and Aunt Ami, and getting on a train back to Taipei. Aunt Ami didn't want us to go. It's because you'll be traveling into the night, Clifford told us. She's afraid of ghosts. I had laughed then, but as I sat on the train watching the sky get darker and darker, I did feel a tiny bit worried. Do they really say if you travel at night, ghosts will come? I asked. Oh, yes, Dad said. And there are even more superstitions if you whistle at night. You're inviting ghosts. They say the same thing about cutting your fingernails, Mom said. If you cut them at night, you're inviting ghosts too. That one is interesting. That just seems silly. We all thought at that. We all laughed at that. But we don't really believe in any of those things, Mom said. Some people do, I said, thinking of Aunt Ami. Yes, that's true, Mom said, but Grandma and Grandpa always discouraged our family from all of that. Some traditions were fine to practice, but they said you also had to use your common sense. What do you mean, Lissy asked. Like when my Aunt Su Ying was married, Mom said. Ooh, sub-story. Grandma breaks tradition. When Aunt Su Ying was marrying, her parents consulted a fortune teller for a favorable wedding day. This was a custom back then to ensure a lucky and long marriage, and her parents took this very seriously. The fortune teller, an old and wrinkled woman, took all the details of the birth dates to both the bride and the groom. Not just the date, the time they were born too. With that information, she calculated the day and the time they should be married. Sounds like algebra. September 9th is good, she told them, but the marriage must take place during the Mao period. Su Ying's parents were surprised. Each Chinese day was divided into 12 periods. Ooh, this reminds me of something. Each period is 2 hours long. The Mao period was early in the morning, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. Still, that was the luckiest time. So they made preparations accordingly. The night before the wedding, Su Ying had a sleepover bridal shower. All of her friends from school, cousins, and sisters came. Grandma went too. It was a fun time with all the girls laughing and talking. They didn't go to bed until very late. It ended so late that everyone had a hard time waking up in the morning. And they were supposed to wake up early. When Su Ying finally woke up, it was already time to go. What a panic it was. Aunt Pin Mei was there too, doing Su Ying's hair. She was the good luck woman. According to tradition, the bride's hair must be arranged by a married woman with many children and a good husband, so that the good luck would be passed on to her. The good luck woman was supposed to speak auspicious words while she combed the bride's hair and placed on the headdress. Ooh, auspicious. That's one to look up. But Su Ying was already so late that everyone was frantic. Aunt Pin Mei could only quickly stammer a couple of lucky phrases as she coiled Su Ying's hair and stabbed the bridal comb. It's crooked, Su Ying wailed as she looked at herself in the mirror. The comb and its red tassels perched awkwardly on her head, and one tassel hung over one ear, and the other tassel below her other ear. She reached to fix it. Oh, there's a drawing. Aunt Su Ying on her wedding day. No, Aunt Pin Mei said, pushing her hands away. You can't redo it. It would be bad luck. You can only do it one time. It's like marriage. Once it's done, you have to keep it. Su Ying would have argued, but she was too busy getting pushed out the door to the wedding. She made it just in time, and they were married before the Mao period ended. Grandma said no one really remembers the ceremony because they had to do it fast. After the ceremony, Su Ying and her husband were sent to the wedding chamber. Relatives, aunts, uncles were positioned outside the room, sometimes with teases and jokes, sometimes with food. But there was always someone there, guarding the door, because according to tradition, brides were not supposed to leave the wedding room until the morning after the ceremony. Now, this was fine most of the time, but Su Ying had been rushed in there at 7 in the morning and there was no bathroom in the bedroom. What? By the middle of the afternoon, she, of course, had to use the bathroom. I can relate. But every time she poked her head out, someone was there, stopping her from leaving the room. Her aunts and mothers shook their heads at her. Hold it, they said to her. It will be bad luck if you leave. You'll have a bad marriage. Finally, Grandma's turn to watch the door. Everyone else had gone downstairs and Su-Ying poked her head out again. I really need to go, she whispered urgently. Please. Grandma looked at Su-Ying's begging face. To her, this was not the way a bride should spend a wedding day. A crooked hairstyle, a prisoner in a bedroom. How can any of this ensure a happy marriage? This was just a lot of silliness. At the very least, a woman should be allowed to use the bathroom. Grandma checked to make sure no one else was around. Quickly, she said, and motioned Su-Ying out of the room. Su-Ying ran to the bathroom and back without anyone else knowing. Thank you, Su-Ying whispered, and she was so grateful Grandma was the only one willing to break the tradition and overlook the superstition. Su-Ying was very thankful and remembered it always. In fact, Mom said, she still thanks Grandma for it even now. Ooh, gratitude. How was her marriage? Lissy asked. Was it lucky? Yes, Mom said. She and Uncle Wu have a big house in Fresno now. Hey, that's in California. And 2 sons. One is a doctor and the other is a computer programmer. Everyone is very happy. So as you can see, those superstitions aren't really true. The story made me feel a little bit better. I also hope that when I got married, there would be a bathroom in my room. I'm with you.